everyone, and welcome to another episode of the N64 podcast. In this episode, we're going to be continuing our look at Mario 64. This is part 2. Let's start the show. All right, so I got to be a little bit honest. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty. I've upgraded my computer. I know, rare, right? And so I've got to keep the monitor down because I cannot get the audio to sync up correctly with the software I use, which I will work on that. So I hope everyone is doing well. It's been a couple of weeks, and yeah, lots been going on with me too. I have a few new listeners. I always appreciate that, guys. And there's a couple things going on here. I went to Indianapolis this week and took some training, and I'm now certified for wireless point-to-point installations. I mean, I've been doing that stuff for years, so it's old hat to me at this point. But yeah, it's just kind of fun to put a stamp of approval on it from the company, that we use. So anyways, not a lot of N64 news this week. The Atari box is or Atari VCS. Normally, I don't want to talk about other stuff on this show like that. And this is a semi-political subject, but I tell you what, go there and watch Stop Droppin' Retro on YouTube. Watch his channel. He just did one on the Atari VCS. Folks, this thing looks like a scam to me. It screams scam. And I hope nobody's falling for it. And if you are, get your money out right now. There's just no reason. I mean, if you just look at the facts of the situation, these are the same guys that couldn't even put Roller Coaster Tycoon onto the Switch without needing help. And so here they are, trying to fund an entire console with just $2 million. And if you look at the stats in the past, there was, let's see, the Ouya, which made $8 million, and that thing tanked real quick. And I know what you're saying. Hey, Andy, it's going to have all these modern games on it and stuff. Well, let's also look at this. They're trying to break into the console market as a modern console. When Microsoft got into the console game back in, the early 2000s or late 90s, I can't remember when the Xbox original one came out. It was like 2001 or something. They spent $4 billion with a B dollars doing so. Like, that's how much they lost. And I just want to say, all the other projects these guys are doing, like this same Atari group, it's not the same Atari that everyone grew up with. That company's been dead for decades. This is the quote-unquote new Atari. Some people bought the rights and stuff. And they also had this kind of crowdfunding thing going on with the Atari Retro, they called it, a little handheld. It's been almost a year, and those guys haven't seen a thing. And so I'm telling you, there's just not enough money with $2 million. And even if they did have external funding, say this thing does come out and say this thing is real, which I don't believe it is, there is just not going to be enough takers. That's just how things like this works, unfortunately. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to see a new Atari console. But, if you want that, just go get a flashback. It's a lot cheaper, and it's already at store shelves. You don't have to pay anybody to get it. All right, so that's just my rant over on that, and I just had to say something because I felt like it's sad because the people on the Atari Age Facebook group are split in half, it seems, and it's so sad to hear that. And it seems to be split in half between those that knows it's a scam and those that have fallen for it, unfortunately. And it's just getting nasty. Every time somebody posts something, it guarantees it catches cannon fodder. Okay, so first up on the docket, we're not going to cover the game immediately. And one correction, in the last episode, I said I wouldn't be, covering, who made the game and stuff. Well, I meant not while I'm going through this level by level. That's why I've decided to extend this episode to a third part. So we can get into the normal stuff, like what's on the box, what does it say on the box, who made the game, here's a hint, Shigeru Miyamoto, but we already knew that. But that is when we'll get into part 3, how much you can pick it up for, what's it worth now, and that stuff is going to be reserved for part 3. But right now, we have actually, I found this on Great Big Story's YouTube channel. They're called Great Big Story, and they did an interview with the gentleman, Charles Martinet, and he does the voice of Mario. So I figured I would play that right now for everyone. I didn't get permission on this, so I'm sorry, Great Big Story, if you ever, get mad, just let me, I'll edit it out. But I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. I'm directing enough traffic over to you for the 3 of you listening. I'm just joking, guys. Okay, so without further ado, here is their little segment called It's a Me Mario by Great Big Story. It's only 3 minutes long here, so let's go ahead and enjoy this together.
It's me, Mario. It's a me, Mario. Woohoo! Let's go. Okie dokie. I've been the voice of Mario for 26 years.
Now moving on to Luigi.
Oh. Hi, I'm Charles Martinet. I do the voice of Super Mario. Here we go. Woohoo! And Luigi too. Luigi number 1. Ha ha! And Wario, have a rotten day. Yahoo! You gonna eat that garlic? And I was even Donkey Kong at one point. I am an actor and voice actor. I did, 25 years of theater.
Run along to your party!
Corporate videos.
Circuitry and semiconductor processes.
A few film and television products.
Now beat it, all of you. Now!
And then I had the marvelous beginning of becoming a voice actor, and that's how I started with It's a me, Mario. Mario was first created in 1981 in a game called Donkey Kong. As it got refined through the years, it became Mario and Princess Peach. The princess. And I came along in 1990. I actually crashed an audition because I was catching them as I walked in, they were walking out, finished for the day. I said, "Can I read for this?" And the guy looked at his watch and he goes, all right, come on in. You're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn, a character in a video game for Nintendo called Mario. So make up a voice, make up a video game, start talking. And I thought to myself, video game? I don't know anything about video games. And all of a sudden I hear action. I go, "Hello, I'm a Mario. Let's make a pizza pie together. You go get some sausage. I'm gonna get some spaghetti. We put spaghetti in the sausage and the pizza." And he said, "Cut, stop talking. There's no more tape. All right, thanks, we'll be in touch." And I thought that was, okay, there's the door. We'll see you later. And he calls Nintendo, "I found a Mario. I got him." And that was 26 amazing, fantastic years ago. Hello. Whoopee! Oh, look at this world. The character, for me, brings out the best in me, and so I love that. Bing, bing, bing.
At this point in the video,
I love
he's
sharing
actually
things, too.
playing
I go
Mario
to meet
64.
Mario fans, and I hear the most wonderful thing. You're the voice of my childhood. Or I used to play with my dad. Now I'm playing with my kids, and it's a way our family comes together. Yeah. Pretty good. This brings back the memories. Mamma mia. You just have fun, That's my mantra for life. Come on, let's go. Let's have more fun. Bye-bye. See you in my games. Woohoo!
All right, so that was great. That was Great Big Story over there on YouTube, and they talked to Charles Martinet. And I tell you what, he seems like such a great guy. Like, you just want to hang out with this dude. At one point in the video, I hope everyone heard, I was saying he actually starts playing Mario 64. So why did I play this video for that? Well, Mario 64, I'm not sure if that was the first game Mario talked in. It's the first one I remember him talking in. So that's why I wanted to play it. And it was great to actually put, a voice with, or a face with the voice. So go there and check it out. He's a really cool guy, and he's just awesome. He's very playful, very fun. All right, so let's go ahead and get on here to the continuation of the level-by-level exploration and my horrible memory. So next up was Dire Docks. And don't worry, we're going to cover in the next episode some of the special things in the castle, like there's the moat that drains and the downstairs and the wall of water that moves, things like that we will get into in the next one. Just trying to go through pound star by star out here. So Dire Docks is course 9, and of course there's star 1 is Board Bowser's sub. You're in like a big sub pin, and there's a giant star on the front of this giant sub. I meant to say giant sub, not giant star. Chests in the current. So basically, to get the power stars, opening up the wrong one result in the character getting electrocuted. I remember this one, and so you just run around and you get the coins in a certain order, and you have it. Now in the DS version, I guess the third chest is removed. So that's that's unfortunate. All right, so the one after that is called pole jumping for red coins. And, of course, it's, once again, there's a bunch of poles moving around, and you got to jump on them to get the 8 red coins. Then we're looking at through the jet stream. The mission objective is to pass the bubble rings at the bottom of the course's second area. And there's bubble rings down there, and you have to be Metal Mario, of course, because there's jet stream. And the Manta Ray's reward is the next one after that. That is Star 5. And the Manta Ray's reward, the mission objective is to pass through the bubble rings from the Manta. And you're following this Manta Ray, of course. And the Koopa Surfin' Switch Star, that is only on the Super Mario 64. So that, for the DS, I'm sorry. So the next one, of course, is Collect the Caps. And Collect the Caps is, the mission's objective is to obtain the Power Star trapped in a cage. And let's go ahead and read about this one together here. Is the sixth mission, and remain inside the cage in the DS. Okay, so it was renamed Inside the Cage in the DS remake. In the original game, the mission requires at least the Vanish Cap to be unlocked, while the DS version requires Luigi and his Power Flower ability. All right. So let's go ahead and see here. And the next star, of course, is Star 7, Collect Coin Power Star. So the 100 coin Power Star, basically. That is, of course, Dire Docks. Course 9 in the game out of all the courses. I believe, what are we looking at here? 15 in all? 15 in all, yeah. All right, course 10. Star 1 is the Snowman's Big Head. The course is called Snowman's Land. Snowman's Land. Oh, man, okay. Snowman's Land was actually a lot of fun for me, and I've got a really good memory with this one. So some of these levels I don't have a lot of memories with, and some of them I do. It's just that some courses stick in your mind and some don't. Like I was telling you about the monkey still in your hat. Some courses stay in your mind, and Snowman Land does, because I did not know about something here that I had to do, and I will actually get to that here when we get to the particular coin, which is the first one actually. Snowman's Big Head. So basically, there is this giant snowman in the middle of the level, and this is what I call a bowl level, where you can't fall off, and there's a giant snowman mountain that you climb up, and you get to the top, and he's basically got his hands have like an ice tray in front of him, and he is blowing, the snowman is blowing wind, and there's a penguin up there walking back and forth. So the first time I come across this, I'm a kid, and I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Normally you jump on top of the penguin and you ride him across, because he keeps walking forward and backward and forward and backward. Well, there's also a harder way to do it. That's the harder way I was doing it, is you follow the penguin. So you take the penguin, and he's walking forward, and you walk forward. You walk back, he walks back. And you keep doing this back and forth with him. And it was so hard to do the first time, because I kept getting blown off the mountain. And I believe he can blow your cap off of you. So anyways, that's what happened with this. Just climb on top of the penguin, folks. You don't need to follow, in his footsteps or anything. Sorry, I was checking my dog around there, making sure he was with me. Okay, so the next course star is Chill with the Big Bully. And there is a Chill Bully, which is basically just like the bullies on the Lava Land, but they're on top of an ice platform. And they're kind of hard. We got to knock them off this ice into this cold water. And I believe the water's so cold that Mario kind of jumps like he's been burnt. So we just think maybe he was freezer burned. Okay, so the next one is the In the Deep Freeze. And this one is, there is a large ice maze. It's made of ice, and it's only in the N64 version of the game. Apparently maybe they took it out for the DS. And it's kind of a fun little thing. It's one of those little 3D kind of puzzles. And so, yeah, you just have to climb through it and find the way to get to the star that is in the center of it. There is another DS special level, but I'm not going to cover those, because the DS version has extra stars and has different stars than what the main version of the game does, and I don't really want to get those too mixed up too bad. So the next star after that is Whirl in the Freezing Pond, and you have to collect the Power Star that is near the freezing pond. And so I'm going to make sure here, this is the one I was thinking of. Past the freezing pond with the spin drifts, there's a course ledge that's too high for normally reach. Jumping onto the spin drifts in the water will send the player in the air and start spinning, allowing them to get over the edge. If the player is playing okay, basically what happens is these weird guys that look like they have flowers on their heads, and you have to jump on their heads, and Mario does like this helicopter spin. And so that is what you have to do to get up here. I remember one of these stars having this really cool, it was like these big snow like waves coming at you. So I'm not sure if that was here or not. It might be. The next star here is shell shredding for the red coins. And you have to, mission objective is to use the shiny shell to collect the red coins. So, you're basically after more 8 red coins. And then the next one after that is into the igloo. So this is another cool part. You have to, you climb inside the igloo, or crawl, I should say. And when you crawl inside of the igloo, it opens up another part of the level, just like the lava, the volcano inside of the lava world does. And so you enter the igloo, and it's accessible by either using the shiny shell to climb a ramp in the freezing pond with the spin drifts, or by dropping down from the penguin's bridge to enter the igloo. The player has to crawl. You need to have the vanish cap unlocked, and because I believe the star is behind like a wall or something, and so that's basically that. And of course, you have the 100 coin power star after that. So that's star 7. Next, we're going to go to Wet Dry World. Now, Wet Dry World is also very fun. I kind of like the layout of this level. And so I'm going to pull that up here. Give me just a second. I'm flipping between here what I can do. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is because I've actually found a better guide than what I was going off of before. And so the next one is Wet Dry World, and I believe this one is upstairs, of course, with the Snowman's Land. Oh, yeah, one of the cool things about Snowman's Land, I should mention, the first time I should say, had to go to this level, I was confused because you walk into this room, and there's a big mirror on the wall, and you see Mario, and then you see the cameraman, Lakitu, following behind Mario. And it's like, what? Okay. And there's a picture on the wall, but you can't jump into the picture. As you know, to enter the levels of Mario, you jump into pictures. Well, there's no picture for this one. And there was some weird hint that the Toad gave out that basically says something about looking in the reflection. And that's when you notice, I mean, it took us a few minutes, but my dad actually noticed this. He's like, wait a minute. And he looked and he saw that in the mirror, there was a reflection of the painting, but on the wall in the game, there was no painting. So you had to jump into the wall. And so I always thought that was kind of cool. That was kind of a neat thing. How could I not get to that right away? Let's see here. Course 11 is Wet Dry World, and this one is upstairs as well, and it is a lot of fun. And so it is, the first star is Shocking Arrow Lifts. And so Shocking Arrow Lifts is, I'm pulling it up here. So Shocking Arrow Lifts, to reach the power star, the player has to raise the water level to about half using the crystal tap on the large stone structure, accessible by using the purple switch on the bridge near the start of the level. Once the water level is raised, the player needs to swim north to the wooden floating platforms and use them to jump onto the smaller platform above the nearby arrow lifts. When the player stands on one of the arrow lifts, it will begin moving in the direction signed on the lift. To return to the original position, the player needs to use the moving arrow lifts to get to the platform on the other side while avoiding the amp circuit lifts. One of the other platforms jumping at the exclamation point block will produce the power star. So this one had a lot of weird like course layouts, and I actually like the music from this level. Let's see if I can pull it up here real quick. Let's see if I can pull up the music because it was actually kind of fun, I believe. Let's see if we can find music just in this. Once again, I'm doing it on the fly. Nobody said any differently. So let's hear how this sounds. There's also the Mazy Haze Cave music. Yeah, so you know it's nice. It's really nice. Okay, so let's keep moving on here. And all right, so we've got the next one, which is, of course, Top O the Town. So Top O the Town, trying to find it here, guys. Like I said, I don't remember all these. Player needs to raise the water level to the point where they can climb the uppermost layer of the uptown. If it isn't already, another option is to use heave hose. So once again, this is a bowl level, and there's a lot of weird platforms and structures. This level is kind of discombobulated, and it's almost like an obstacle course, but it is fun. I actually do enjoy this level. Secrets in the Shallows and Skies, Star 3, of course. And it's the third mission. Through the mission was renamed 5 Secrets in the Shallows and Sky to be more informative as to how many secrets there are to find in the DS remake. So in the DS remake, they tell you there's 5. So hidden throughout the uptown are 5 secrets the player has to find. When a secret is found, a number will appear over the secret. Once all 5 secrets are found, the Power Star will appear on the bridge at the start of the course. But in the DS remake, the Power Star appears in the Star Sphere in the same location. The locations of the secrets are: behind the structure with a cannon on top of it, the player has to move a pushable block. A secret will appear underneath it. So basically, when I was playing this game, I got as many stars as I could. And of course, you can get, I believe, enough stars in order to go up and beat King Koopa. But I wanted to get them all, to unlock that hidden Yoshi that I was being told about at, the playground at school. Well, not playground, is actually old enough not to go to recess at this point. Anyways, I wanted to find him, and so I actually got the strategy guide, and that's how I found most of these as a kid. Nowadays, you just pull up a website, and you're ready to go. So the next one after that is Express Elevator, Hurry Up. Okay, so Express Elevator, Hurry Up is it's the 4th mission, and you have to collect the Power Star in the elevator shaft. In order to obtain the Power Star and complete this mission, the water level needs to be at its lowest point. The player first needs to destroy the block covering the hole at the bottom of the elevator shaft, through which the block is absent in the DS version. After, the player needs to reach the 3rd tier of the uptown, which can be reached by using the heave-ho on the 2nd tier. Once they are on the 3rd tier, the player needs to head to the elevator shaft, press the purple switch next to it, and use platforms it creates to reach the top of the shaft. The player then needs to step onto the elevator panel opposite the Power Star, causing it to drop, and then jump off the platform down the hole of the shaft at the bottom. Ground pounding to negate any fall damage. Once there, the player needs to quickly wall jump or backflip and climb onto the interior of the platform before it rises up again. By riding the platform as it moves up to the back of the top of the shaft, the player is able to collect the Power Star. It was okay. That's all I've got to say about that. Go to the town for the 8 red coins. Of course, once again, you got to collect the 8 red coins in here. And there are 2 ways to get the downtown area. So yeah, there's supposed to be like a little town in there, and it does kind of look like it. But, your mileage may vary on what you see in the game. I just saw it as a random obstacle course, this level. And, of course, quick race through downtown. It's the 6th mission, and there are 2 ways to get to the downtown area. One way is making the water level rise as high as possible by jumping onto the painting at its highest point. By doing this, the water level will be high enough to jump over the tall mesh fence in the front of the player's starting position. Another way is to use the cannon on the opposite corner of the course and the fire through the top of the fence. And so once in downtown, the player needs to swim directly downward to touch the crystal tap to start the water level. With the water drain, the player needs to grab the Vanish Cap Power Flower from the question mark block to the left of the plaza. Once they're invisible, the player needs to run back to the alley they were just and press the purple switch, then quickly run to the wire fence in the corner to the right of the plaza. Once inside, the player has to use the purple switch created to get onto the structure inside and reach the Power Star. So yeah, I believe jumping into the, that actually triggered a memory here. Unique stage gimmick is being able to raise and lower the water level by touching the crystal taps located throughout the stage. When one is touched, the water level will rise or drain to the level to the crystal's top position, which affects the position of the floating platforms as well. Unless these crystal taps are essential to reach certain areas and complete missions. Several skeeters slide around on the water surface with Karanpa balls lining the platforms. If they are underwater, the Karanpa balls will not be able to spit fire. 2 areas in the course, the uptown, which is split into layering platforms, and the downtown area, which has several buildings and the course's red coins. So yeah, it does look like a little downtown, I guess. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the next part here, or the next level. Of course, you have a hunt for all the red coins in this as well. That's no big shock there. So the next course is Tall Tall Mountain, and I tell you what, Tall Tall Mountain is one of those I remember quite a bit. The first one is, of course, Scale the Mountain, in which you have to climb up to the top of the mountain, and basically the player starts at the base of the mountain next to a small pond. In front of there's a trio of Goombas. Past them is a ramp, and you keep going up and up until you get to the very top of the mountain. This level, of course, is one that you can fall off of. It's not a bowl level. It's an actual, fall off level. And then the next one out that is Mystery of the Monkey Cage. And now these monkeys, like I said, will steal your hat. And to complete this mission, the player has to climb the top of the mountain, much like the first mission. Instead of the power star at the top, the player will find a ukiki running around. And an ukiki is a monkey, of course. Upon catching him, he'll ask the player to let go of him in exchange for letting him show them something cool. Agreeing to this offer will have the ukiki lead the player to a small cage hovering next to the waterfall. Taking the ukiki again will have him jump onto the cage, causing it to fall and crash onto the piece of land below, letting loose the power star. The player then has to jump off the cliff and collect it. So that's the monkey one. Scary Shrooms Red Coins. Okay. So in the third mission, there are 4 of the red coins are placed on the mushroom platforms past the gaps the player has to long jump across. And believe me, you are nervous doing this. And the other 4 are the platforms with Monty moles scattering all around. And beyond those mushroom platforms, the player has to jump from platform to platform to collect all 8 of the red coins. Once all the 8 red coins are collected, the power star will appear over the star marker on a mushroom platform next to Monty Mole. Okay, so that's that one. And now we have the Mysterious Mountainside. Mysterious Mountainside is Mountainside, is the 4th mission of Tall Tall Mountain. And you have to slide down the mountain's hidden slide. To access the slide, the player has to climb the mountain until they get to the whoosh, which the whoosh, I had no idea that's what it was called, is a big, basically, cloud that blows, air at you. I mean, what else is going to blow at you? And immediately behind the whoosh is a trail of coins leading to the secret portal to the slide. If the player loses a life on the slide and jumps back into the painting, they will return to the start of the slide, providing the life doesn't result in a game over. So basically, you just have to get to the bottom of this slide. And there's also a castle secret slide as well. Ooh, a lot of fun there. All right, and of course, not on this level. That's actually hidden somewhere else, and there's 2 stars on that one, but we will get to that one. Quit jumping ahead, Andy. All right, so the next one after Tall Tall Mountain is Breathtaking View from the Bridge, or From Bridge. I guess that's how it's spelled on here. And, okay, so the Breathtaking View is a mission, and of course, and wow, I'm just losing it today again. In the original version, the player needs to climb up the mountain until they reach a purple switch. Pressing it will cause a block to appear under the bridge. The player can use a platform to reach the small cave behind the waterfall and collect the power star. So that's how you did it there. DS version, you need to be Wario. Okay, and Blast to the Lonely Mushroom. So you use a cannon. Blast the Lonely Mushroom. In order to reach the power star, the player needs to open the cannon if they haven't already. The player needs to climb the mountain until they get to the wooden bridge past the Chukya. So what is a Chukya, guys? I don't know these guys had names. Okay, that is the purple bomb thing from Wet Dry World that will pick you up and, well, chuck you, which here in America means throw. Just after the bridge on the platform below is the course Bomb Bomb Buddy. The course is Bomb Bomb Buddy. And talking to him will open up the cannon. To get the cannon, the player has to go to the mushroom platform just before Monty Moles. Stepping onto the smallest mushroom in the center will warp the player to an area under the mountain. Crossing the narrow pass ahead will lead the player to the cannon. Once in the cannon, the player needs to line up their angle of the mushrooms with the power star in the distance. Roughly that of the angle shown in the picture to the right. Which, yeah, that's pretty good lined up. If the player thinks they have the correct angle, they need to fire over the platform to collect the power star. All right, and of course, there's 100 red coins. So that is Tall Tall Mountain. Coming up next is Tiny Huge Island. Now, Tiny Huge Island is a lot of fun. I really do like it. And the reason is because there's what, 2 paintings. You enter one and Mario's giant and the level's small. You enter the other one, everything else is giant and Mario is small. So the first one is Pluck the Piranha Flower. And with that, the easiest method of reaching the Piranha Flower's location is start on Tiny Island. The player then needs to jump across the platforms near the start and enter the Shrinker Pipe. If the player starts on the Huge Island, they will have to go around the entirety of the course. Upon jumping out of the Shrinker Pipe or upon reaching the platform the player went around the course, the player will have to move around the platform to find the piranha flowers. If the player is nearby, the piranha flower will grow out of the ground and attempt to spit fire at the player. To defeat one, the player needs to attack it once, which will cause it to shrink like a normal-sized piranha plant. Once all 5 of the piranha flowers are defeated, the power star will appear next to the shrinker pipe. Okay, and so that's that one. This level, of course, is I mentioned in part 1. And yeah, it's coming up here. So next star is the tip top of the huge island. Okay, so tip top of huge island. To get to the top of huge island, the player has a few options. One method is to start on tiny island and make their way to the shrinker pipe near the top, jump onto it, and then climb the large platforms to use the bridge. Another method is to start on huge island, and the player has to navigate their way around the course to the aforementioned shrinker pipe and continue from there. Regardless of the method chosen, the power star is the question mark block near the peak of the mountain. Third star is the one I did not like playing. It is rematch with Koopa the Quick. That's right. He makes another appearance in the game. To reach Koopa the Quick, the player needs to make it to the base of the mountain near the shrinker pipe. If on Tiny Island, the player needs to take the pipe so they are on Huge Island. Going down the hill past the hole where the boulders roll out of it, the player will be in a field with Koopa the Quick waiting on the opposite end. Talking to him will have him ask the player if they are willing to race him again, claiming he has some new Koopa Mach 1 Super Koopa Sprint in the DS Remake sneakers to help him win this time. Obtained at some point after losing the last race. Like with the last race, Koopa the Quick will only offer the challenge to Mario in the DS version. Accepting this challenge will start the race, and Koopa the Quick will begin running towards Windswept Valley, which is where, obviously, the wind, you have to time it to get across. In order to reach the valley and beat the Koopa the Quick to it, Mario has to run past the boulder spawn hole, down the ramp and the ledges, across the bridge, and the wind blowing across it, and finally reaching the flag in the valley. If Mario beats Koopa the Quick, he'll reward the player with a power star. Additionally, using any of the shrinker pipes will restart the race. He is a lot tougher this time, I'm telling you. He's a tough guy to race in this time. It's almost too hard, but you got to really be like on with that analog stick in order to beat him. At least I did. I had great difficulty with it. But that's just me. I didn't claim to be great at video games. Then there's 5 Itty Bitty Secrets, which is the next one here. And that is the player needs to be on Tiny Island, and the course are little holes the player has to touch in order to find a secret to appear. Once all of the 5 locations have been found, the power star will appear on the floating island to the north. To get to the island, the player has to use the block bridge created by the purple switch near the shrinker pipe. Location of the 5 secrets are, and then it lists them here. Entrance to Wiggler's Cave is one of them. Then you have Wiggler's Red Coins. Now, Wigglers, I believe, are those guys, right? From like, was it Mario, Super Mario? Yeah, they're the centipedes with the flowers on their heads. I'm not sure why they have flowers on their heads. It must be a Japanese thing, maybe. Okay, so Wiggler's Red Coins, it's the 5th mission, and there are several methods to reach the cave. And this is kind of cool because it takes you into yet another part of this level, which is like a level inside of a level. One method requires the player to have the cannon open. If it isn't open, talk to the bomb-on buddy where the cannon will be located on Tiny Island. Will open it. On Huge Island, the player needs to use the cannon to blast to a tree on the cliffside. Once up there, the player has to cross a narrow bridge with which is slightly larger in the DS version to reach the opening end of the cave. And so once you're inside, there's 8 red coins inside of this cave, and so it's kind of cool. All right, moving on from there. Make Wiggler squirm. All right. How are we going to make him squirm here? I am getting there. What did I click on? Okay, sorry. Once again, this is a fall-off level, not a bowl level. Make Wiggler squirm, 6th mission, Tiny Huge Island. To get to the Wiggler, the player has to first reach the top of Tiny Island. At the top of a small hole underwater, and ground pounding it will drain the water. Once that is done, the player needs to climb down the mountain and into the shrinker pipe of the base and jump in, bringing the player to Huge Island. Afterward, the player has to climb back up the mountain and fall into the now exposed hole. If the water is not drained in a Tiny Island, the player cannot enter the hole. So this is like yet another level inside of a level. I believe, yeah, this takes place on top of the cave that was from the previous star I mentioned. And so basically there is a giant Wiggler up there and you have to defeat him. This is like a boss battle basically. So it's a lot of fun. And now we have the next level, which is Tick Tock Clock. So tick-tock clock is kind of cool because you jump into the clock at different times and it's running in different speeds. So, and I believe this is also like a Mario Kart 64 DS level as well, or there's something to do with clocks in that game if I remember correctly. Okay, so the first one is roll into the cage. Roll into the cage is the first mission. In the original game, Mario has to climb up the clock until he reaches the spinning platforms past the first hand. Past the spinning platforms is a conveyor belt leading to the cage, so mission's Power Star is inside the cage. So this is kind of cool, actually, level. It's laid out very nicely. It's a giant obstacle course, and it's a lot of fun, and I just like the idea of entering at different times and it having different speeds, so I think that's kind of cool. All right, the next one on that is the Pit and the Pendulums. Pit and the Pendulums, Mario needs to climb the clockworks till he gets to the pole with the amp circling it. After climbing the pole, Mario needs to cross the platform with the heave-ho and jump across a spinning platform to reach two swinging pendulums. Mario needs to jump and use the platform between the pendulums without getting pushed off to reach the Power Star. So yeah, they're just kind of in your way, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun star. It's a fun level. Kind of like it. Third one is Get a Hand, and that is the player needs... Oh, and by the way, yes, you can fall off this. It's not really a fall off on the side level. It's kind of a long, narrow tube, and you can fall off through the bottom. So basically, Get a Hand. The player needs to climb the platform where the first clock hand spins across. If the hand is not there, the player needs to wait for it to approach. The player needs to climb onto the hand and ride it as it turns around the large chasm. Once it reaches a small alcove on the other side of the clock, the player needs to jump in to collect the Power Star, though they need to avoid the amp moving nearby. And amps are those little metal balls that have the, the electricity going on them. All right, the next one after that is Stomp on Thwomp. So yeah, Thwomp is back here. Or not Thwomp, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is Thwomp, but I was thinking of something else. Okay, this mission's Power Star is located at the very top of the clock. In order, the player's starting position is a large pendulum followed by a conveyor belt and rotating block. Afterwards is another pendulum followed by a ramp leading to 3 rotating blocks. Above those is a platform that is a large clock and hand swinging nearby. After the hand are a number of spinning platforms leading to a cage, and climbing onto the cage will lead into a small lift followed by a pole with an amp circling it. Climbing up the pole, the path will split and the player needs to take the lifts leading further up on the clock. Above the lifts, the rotating blocks leading for upward. Up the rotating blocks is a bending platform with blocks acting similar to bumps and placed under the cage, and followed by a couple of conveyor belts leading to a long bending platform and several platforms and blocks breaking it up. At the top of the platform is another clock hand that will bring the player to an area with a thwomp that will be carrying the player to the Power Star. And so, yeah, that's that one. I know it's a lot of reading there. Time jumps on moving bars, and that one is this is cool. The player needs to climb the clock till they reach the place with the amp circling it. After circling the pole, the player needs to take to the moving lifts upward and jump across the platforms to the top of the mesh cage. At the end of that area are 3 moving bars that come out of the wall. The player has to time their jumps with the timing of the moving bars to reach the Power Star in the cage. So, yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah, these things are cool because they're, like, rotating around. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Okay, and coming up here is, of course, stop time for the red coins. Near the player's starting position are several green platforms scaling up the wall. If the clockworks are moving, these platforms would be spinning, making it difficult to collect the red coins between platforms. Once all the red coins are collected, the Power Star will appear up over the star marker. In the original game, the Power Star is placed much higher than usual, so it is in line with the platform. The DS version, some of the platforms are placed differently, and the Power Star is placed normally over the star marker. So a little bit different there. Moving on, we're on to the last of the normal levels here, and that is Rainbow Ride. And Rainbow Ride is a lot of fun. Cruiser Crossing the Rainbow. So this one's cool. You basically are riding your... this level you can definitely fall off of. It's, once again, kind of... it's kind of weird. It's just a bunch of floating platforms, and there's like a magic... well, what would you call it? A magic carpet that you're on. It goes over a rainbow. And once the player reaches the 4 spinning platforms, they need to take the magic carpet to the right. After passing the obstacles on the path, the player needs to take the next carpet onto the left before they are on falls. Remaining on that carpet and passing the spinning platform will take the player to the large ship. The Power Star is located on the bow of the ship. So yeah, you're basically, this level it's fun. It has a good rhythm on it. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And if I remember correctly, the music is actually very good in here too. Let's see if I can pull up some of that here. And Rainbow Ride. And we're going to put music after that. Oh yeah, Super Mario Rainbow Ride music. Here we go. Okay, yeah, it's like that of the slide. So yeah, it's really good stuff. It plays throughout the whole level, which it basically gives you, pumps. So if you have anxiety, maybe you don't want to play that level. Believe me, I do. And I read somewhere it said anxiety is like a boss battle music playing, but there's no enemy showing up. Yeah, I can definitely agree. All right, so the next star is the Big House in the Sky. All right, Big House in the Sky. And once the player reaches the 4 spinning platforms, they need to take the magic carpet to the right, and after passing obstacles on its path, the player needs to take the next carpet on the right before the one they are on the falls. Carpet will pass through the upcoming platforms, so the player has to jump over them and to avoid getting pushed off, then quickly return to the carpet before it disappears. Carpet will pass through the manor twice, with a fire jet spewing fire out towards the center of the room. Once the carpet brings the player up to the roof of the building, they can collect the Power Star. So yeah, it's like going through this house and there's fire spraying. Like I said, this level's a lot of fun. It actually is. Coins amassed in the maze. Now, the only hard part about this level is actually getting the 100 coins, because you got to collect almost every coin. I think there's exactly like maybe 100 coins in this level. So in this one, there is a basically you get on and you ride the magic carpet, and there's like this block maze that you can climb on, and it's kind of fun because you're kind of climbing up and down and all around, and I actually had a lot of fun on this one as well. So it's a really cool maze of climbing and jumping and wall kicking. The next star is Swinging in the Breeze. Once the player reaches the 4 spinning platforms, they need to slide down the pole on the left. The player then has to use a tilting platform to reach another platform, followed by using a swinging platform to cross the gap. Then the player has to cross a series of donut blocks and tilting platform between them and jumping across a gap while avoiding a fire jet. Past the moving platform ahead of a ramp with a series of steps the player can use to get up it. Afterward, the player has to use a swinging platform and dodge a fire jet to reach the Power Star. That one's fun too. I'm telling you, most of these are really fun. Tricky Triangles is the next one, and Tricky Triangles basically, once the player reaches the 4 spinning platforms, they need to slide down the pole to the left. Player has to go to the tilting platforms to reach another platform, followed by using a swinging platform to cross the gap. Then the player has to cross a series of donut blocks with, and now what are donut blocks exactly, you're asking? They're the ones that disappear after you're on them for a little bit. With a tilting platform between them and jump across a gap while moving a fire jet. Past the moving platform ahead is a gap with donut blocks across it, followed by a slight ramp and a few more donut blocks. After crossing these blocks is a large platform with a purple switch, the triangle platforms. Pressing the switch will cause the triangles to flip upside down, allowing the player to use them as platforms. The player needs to climb the platforms to reach the Power Star before the switch's timer runs out. So yeah, it's one of those where you're like running. Oh, I hate that tick, 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 tick. Yeah. And the last one of this, obviously 100 red coins, but Somewhere Over the Rainbow. All right, so Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and you basically are, after this, you get on top of here, and if the player is not ready, open up the cannon. They'll need to talk to the Bomb-On Buddy on top of the large maze by using Mario's wall kick at the back of the maze. At the 4 spinning platforms, they need to take the magic carpet. After passing obstacles on its path, the player needs to take the next carpet on the left before the one they are on falls. Remaining on that carpet and passing the spinning platform, take the player to the large ship. On the stern of the ship is the cannon the player needs to jump onto. The player then needs to line up their shot so they fly through the rainbow ring in the air and grab the pole on the floating platform beyond it. While avoiding the chukya, the player has to hit the exclamation point block to reveal the Power Star. Alternatively, the player can go to the top of the house and backwards long jump to reach the platform without using the cannon. So yeah, this is actually a really fun level. I really like it. And so yeah, that is all of the levels in this game. It's every one of these levels is memorable. Some of them I like better than others. I don't really care for the Big Boo or the Hazy Maze or any of that stuff. Shifting Sandland can be annoying. Snow levels I like. A couple of the missions are annoying, but for the most part, it's a great game. Now, there are actually more stars now. There are the Castle Secret stars. Let's go ahead and talk about those here. I know we're running a little bit long this episode. That's fine. So the Princess's Secret slide, this one is actually, the second one's hard to get. Basically, you go up the stairs and you head right out onto it's the number 1 star on top of the mezzanine. Inside the room, there are 3 stained glass windows with images of Princess, this says Peach. Princess Toadstool is on them. Jumping into the one on the right will lead to the slide. Of course, the DS version of the game, this room is a lot different than it is here. But we won't be getting into that. So basically, the first star is just complete the slide. The second star is a pain in the butt. You have to get to the bottom of the slide in under 21 seconds. And that star will appear in front of you. It's hard. You can kind of cheat. You can jump off at one point and end up like way lower in the game, which I recommend if you can, because you can really cut a lot of time out. And there's also you can go down the slide on your butt, or you can go down on the slide facing forward, which you have a lot more momentum, it seems, facing forward. I've gotten this. Well, I've gotten all these stars, so. This one's a lot of fun. The Secret Aquarium. Okay, the Secret Aquarium is it's the one of the secret courses. So it's a large cube-filled room with water. So the entrance to the course is to the right of the painting in the Jolly Roger Bay. There's through a small hole up in the wall, and you basically have to collect coins in order to avoid drowning. There are 40 yellow coins and rings with red coins in it. You basically, I believe you have to get all of the red coins in order to get the star out of this one. And Mario is constantly, going to be drowning, so you have to constantly be getting coins in this one. That one was not fun for me. Bowser in the Dark World is the next Castle Secret star. And basically, this is Bowser in the Dark World is the first level where it's the first King Koopa level. And there's 1 star in this one, 8 red coins that you got to collect. And so, yeah, they actually put a second one in the DS remake. Toad's star. There's 3 stars to get by talking to various toads around the castle. They will basically just give you stars. So that's kind of nice of them. There's not much to it than that. You just got to find them. Which one thing I never liked about this game is, why are the toads like see-through until you go up to them? Is that because of a memory limitation or what? It's just weird. Okay. Tower of the Wing Cap. This one I did not care for either. Basically, if I remember correctly, yes, you walk into the castle there, and you have to collect 10 power stars. You go to the middle, and sunlight will be shining down from the ceiling onto the rug in the center of the room. Mario stands in the sunlight and looks up. You'll be transported to the level. You basically have to get into Mario mode on the camera, and you look up. And there it is, and of course there are 8 red coins, and you got to go out there with your wing cap and get them. And the hard part is, obviously, the wing cap falls off or wears out, and you just fall and you leave the level, and all of your progress is gone. Cavern of the Metal Cap is the next one, and that's behind the waterfall. Basically, in a cave is a cave in Super Mario 64 that contains the Metal Cap switch. The entrance located in Hazy Maze Cave behind a set of double doors. And you basically go in there and yeah, you got to get that star too. I'm looking at it here. Player then has to get on top of the Dory's head and then steer him toward the small patch of ground outside the double doors. Upon entering the double doors, the player will have to go through a short hallway. At the end of the switch is another pool of liquid metal, much like the one that is used to enter Hazy Maze Cave in the first place. Jumping into it will transport the player to the Cavern of the Metal Cap. So that is there. And I'm looking for there are 8 red coins inside of here. This is the cave I was telling you about after you meet Yoshi on the top. He jumps into this cave. So after, of course, I found Yoshi, I went to this level and was naive enough to look for him. Yeah, he wasn't there, guys. So basically, yeah, this is a fun level. It's cool. Okay, Vanishing Cap under the moat. And so let me see here. Okay, so this one is obviously a little bit more troubling as well. You drain the moat, and you have to get the Vanish Caps switch in order to access the course. Mario must drain the water in the moat of Prince Peach's castle by pounding 2 certain pillars in the basement. Then go outside to the newly exposed door. After doing so, there will be a hole in the drain moat by the waterfall that will warp him to the course. And if I remember correctly, this course obviously has 8 red coins, and you're on this giant slide. And it's fun, but I think if you miss something on the slide, I think you have to go back, and I don't know. Then there are there's coins with the MIPS, and MIPS, of course, are the yellow rabbits. And, MIPS, I guess MIPS, also known as the yellow rabbit, is a rabbit found in the basement of Princess Toadstool's castle. When the player acquires 15 Power Stars during the events of Super Mario 64, when Mario approaches MIPS, he runs away. After Mario catches MIPS, the rabbit gives him Power Star. MIPS appears in the basement a second time after Mario has collected 50 Power Stars. Mario can catch MIPS again, and he will get another Power Star from him. After getting the last Power Star, MIPS will not reappear for the rest of the game. And let me tell you, MIPS is hard to catch that second time. My goodness. And in the remake, MIPS does not make a reappearance, instead being replaced by the rabbits scattered throughout the castle for each character to find. So they're modeled after MIPS, but they do not give up Power Stars. Instead, to give up keys to unlock mini games in the rec room. So I don't know that. And they don't look as good either. They look horrible. MIPS has this kind of like, he has this like, eyes half shut look to him. So here's a bit of trivia. It says here, MIPS is named after MIPS microprocessor with interlocking pipeline stages microprocessor, the type processor used in the N64. MIPS is involved in a glitch where the player picks him up and places him near a wall. Mario will go through that wall. Although not quoted directly, several of MIPS's lines reference the White Rabbit from Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, and Mario was originally able to throw MIPS Rabbit, but this was removed. Probably because he looks so cute. Why would you want to throw him? All right. Next one is Bowser in the Fire Sea. And that is the second Bowser level. You got to collect 8 red coins. It's basically a giant platform of lava with a bunch of floating platforms. And he's a lot of fun to beat on that one. Wing Mario over the rainbow. This one was not fun either. It's a secret level. And so it is. The entrance to the course is through a hole with light coming out of it, on a ledge to the left of Tick Tock Clop, opposite the entrance to the Rainbow Ride. And yeah, there's a bunch of rainbow platforms with clouds that you got to collect 8 red coins. So you're up at the sky, and you're flying from platform to platform. And oddly enough, there's trees growing out of them. There's trees growing out of one of them. All right, and the last one is Bowser in the Sky. Bowser in the Sky is, of course, the last Bowser level, and there are 8 red coins on there. And, that is... all of the stars. So now we can talk about defeating Bowser and a bunch of other stuff. But you know what? We're going to do that in part 3 because this episode is already running longer than I would like it to. But I try to keep them to 40 minutes. I don't know about you guys. That's about a good time for a podcast for me, is close to an hour. This one might run a little bit over, but that's okay. That's okay with me because that's how we're going to do things here today. But yeah, in part 3, guys, I will be talking about my experience with this game, my memories. We're going to talk about beating that King Koopa, and rightfully so, making him into hamburger and throwing him into some mines. So yeah, that's going to be coming up in part 3. We're going to cover the game, its rating, its creators, everything else about the game that we didn't get into. So I hope everyone likes this more in-depth look at the game, and maybe we'll revisit Star Fox 64 sometime. Some guys said I didn't cover it well enough, some did. If you didn't, we can always do it again. We can always have a part 2. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I, of course, am Andy. I want to thank everyone for listening. You can reach our webpage here, or the webpage, which is why I'm saying R. It's just me right now. It is N64podcast.com. It's basically just there for the RSS feed, and you can listen to the episodes on there and share them, like, and all that stuff. The email for the show is show@n64podcast.com. Always accepting audio submissions, always accepting written submissions anytime, even if it's not over the game in question. Feel free to contact me on there. The show's Twitter handle is the N64 Podcast, at the N64 Podcast, Facebook.com/N64 N64 Podcast is the Facebook page. You can also catch the YouTube version of the show at youtube.com/AndyVGR. And coming soon, we're going to have a video to go with this, high-def video. So who would have thought? That's going to be cool. That's going to be a lot of fun. You get to see me do the show. You can also watch it on there. And right now, it's just a slideshow. But that is coming soon, I guarantee it. And last but not least, you can catch the show on Google Play Music, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever great podcasts are found. I'm there with them. Another podcast I recommend listening to are obviously Emulate This, the Super Podcast Brothers, and the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast. There are 3 other podcasts that I listen to. All the hosts are great. Ferg over there at the 2600 Game by Game, he's a great guy. The guys over at Emulate This, it's like cracking open a beer and sitting around with your buddies talking about video games. And of course, the guys at Super Podcast Brothers will crack you up with their great sense of humor. So yeah, there's some other podcasts that I recommend. And I just want to close out my show, this show, saying what I always say, and that is, of course, good gaming, everybody.